Did you know that Johann Sebastian Bach was nearly forgotten after his death? For decades, his music was admired only by a handful of organists and scholars. And yet, it wasn't a famous conductor or a music society that rescued him. It was a 20-year-old prodigy taking a huge personal risk to bring Bach back to life. But why would anyone ignore Bach's genius? And what could possibly make a teenager take on such a bold mission? Bach died in 1750. Over the next decades, the public largely turned to the new music of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. His complex fugues and sacred works were respected in specialist circles, but the grand choral works, like the St. Matthew Passion, were rarely performed outside Leipzig. Even the Well-Tempered Clavier only saw its first printed editions in 1801, decades after Bach's death. So, if Bach's music was still alive on paper, why didn't anyone perform it? In early 19th century Europe, public concerts were evolving fast. Audiences were hungry for new compositions and virtuosic displays. Reviving a century-old sacred passion was unusual. It wasn't something people expected in a concert hall. Most music lovers wanted excitement, novelty, and contemporary flair, not the weighty complexity of Bach's Baroque genius. So, how could a teenage composer convince people to sit through hours of Baroque music? In 1824, Felix Mendelssohn's grandmother, Bella Salomon, gave him a handwritten copyist's manuscript of Bach's St. Matthew Passion. Mendelssohn was only 15. For him, it was more than music. It was a revelation. He spent years studying the work in secret, absorbing every note, every phrase, every bit of counterpoint, until it became a private obsession. What did Mendelssohn see in this dusty old score that others had overlooked? By 1828, Mendelssohn decided he would stage the Passion publicly. He enlisted his friend, actor-singer Edward Devrient, to help prepare rehearsals. But Carl Friedrich Zelter, head of the Berlin Singakademie, initially scoffed. "A couple of young donkeys," he said, doubting they could pull it off. Yet Mendelssohn pressed on, appealing to Zelter and gradually securing the choir and rehearsal space. On March 11, 1829, 20-year-old Mendelssohn conducted the St. Matthew Passion at the Berlin Singakademie. He performed an abridged version, roughly 10 arias and several chorales omitted, with a choir of about 150 to 160 singers and a piano continuo instead of a harpsichord. This wasn't just a concert. It was a musical rescue mission. But what happened when the audience heard this long-forgotten masterpiece for the first time in decades? The response was overwhelming. The hall was sold out. Critics and intellectuals were astonished. The concert was repeated on Bach's birthday and again at Good Friday. Contemporary accounts suggest luminaries like Hegel and Heine were in the audience, witnessing a 20-year-old prodigy breathe life back into music that had been silent for nearly 80 years. Could one concert truly spark a movement that would revive Bach's music across Europe? Mendelssohn's performance was the catalyst for the 19th century Bach revival. Editors published collected works, Bach societies formed, and soon his music became a central part of concert life. Today, we can hear his fugues, passions, and concertos performed in every major hall around the world, all thanks to the daring of a 20-year-old visionary, himself a great composer. So when you hear one of Bach's many great masterworks today, remember this: it wasn't an accident that his music survived. A determined teenager, Felix Mendelssohn, turned private obsession into public rescue. And for that, we owe him and Bach our gratitude. But which other forgotten masterpieces might be waiting for a young hero to rediscover them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.